be tolerated, and those involved will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. The Vice President, Mike Pence, Caitlin, clearly angry.
Yeah, and Wolf, he was there as this broke out, as they started breaching the building, and that's why the vice president and other leadership had to be evacuated because of what's going on. And now he has put out a much more forceful statement that we have seen coming from President Trump, who I'm told has been watching all of this unfold, because Mike Pence is actually telling people to leave the building. That is a pretty simple request that you have not seen the president carry out, Wolf, and that comes as we are told staff are trying to get the president to put out a more forceful statement, but Wolf, he has so far refused to do so, and I'm told has been much more focused on the events that were happening shortly before this happened. And of course, that was the vice president up on Capitol Hill as Congress was meeting to certify these electors and Joe Biden's win, when of course, shortly before, he said he was going to defy the president and not follow through, not try to make any attempts to overturn the results of the election or reject these electors, which of course he did not have the power to do. But the president has been consumed by that. He has not stopped talking about what Mike Pence has done, and he is more focused on that than what you are seeing unfold from his own supporters on Capitol Hill, this chaos that is going on. And the president so far is still watching all of this go on from the White House, but has not come out to the podium. He has not gone on any kind of any television or in front of cameras to say that these people, that his supporters waving his flags and wearing his paraphernalia, need to get out of the building. Instead, he told them to remain peaceful, which of course, Wolf, they are not. But instead, the president himself has been more focused on what Pence did before all of this broke out than what is actually going on now.
It's really an awful, awful situation that the president of the United States is totally neglecting his responsibilities as the commander-in-chief. He's got enormous responsibilities. He's got 14 days left. He only cares about himself. John King, what does that say to you, that we have a president here in Washington, D.C., only 14 days left, but clearly has only one thing in mind: how can he overturn a democratically held election in the United States?
It is sad to say, Wolf, but it's not a surprise to say that the president has been consistent in failing this leadership test when there are obvious questions of right and wrong, black and white questions of right and wrong before him. You and I covered the White House for quite a long time. Donald Trump is the president who said there were good people on both sides in Charlottesville. No, there were not. Donald Trump is the president who refuses to criticize the QAnon crackpot conspiracy theory, which peddles incredibly reckless rumors about the United States government and people involved in it. Because those people support him, he says, well, he thinks they're good people. These are his supporters. They are storming the United States Capitol. Many of them may have come here for protest, but it has developed into something much worse than that. Dangerous, destructive, illegal, scary, violent, and it is his job to call it out as it is. The fact that Caitlin says the vice president is being more forceful tells you quite a bit. The fact that Jim Acosta and others on our White House team say the president has been watching this all day long, he's watching this and doing nothing. Now, he will say, as he has said in the past, his second tweet was a little tougher than the first tweet. He has authorized the National Guard to go and help. Those are steps that may help a bit, but the challenge of leadership is to stand up to your people when they're doing something that is wrong and tell them they need to back down. And it begins with the president, but it's not just him. The people in that building who keep saying, let's appoint a commission to look again into allegations of election fraud that have been brought to more than 60 court cases across the country and rejected out of hand. One of the tests of leadership is to look the people who support you in the eye and say, we are wrong, or it is over, and we are done. So it's not just the president, it's those supporting him in that building too. And it'll be fascinating for me to see, A, will the president wake up here and say something publicly with a camera pointed at him? And then B, what will his supporters in that Capitol, when they resume the debate about certifying Joe Biden's election as president, will some of these Republicans realize